Hello, this is my design for an intermediate wooden bench and wooden table form. Pretty simple, just a little compact, and this is the least amount of conveyors I could figure out how to use while also still making it foolproof. It features one single area for input, so you just put all your logs and nails right here within these two buffers, and then the system will figure the rest of it out. Over here is extra material collection. So if you put in too many nails, there's overflow protection, and it'll prevent the system from screwing itself over. These can also be used as like you can input or inject materials back in if you need to, because this is really just a looping system, and these conveyor sorters will account to that. Right here is extra pillar collection and extra plank collection. The correlation behind the coloring is that this yellow is the main loop while also being the entire pillar area and production area. The blue is an elevated portion, which is strictly just for nails, planks, and box making. This purple just highlights the main crux as to why this works. And then the green is the collection for the tables and benches. The way that this thing works is that you put in your logs and your nails. The nails instantly get sucked up into the box making, and then we just have to worry about the rest, which would be pillars and planks. So first thing is that all the logs are cut into the planks with this wooden saw, and then they're split into a 1-to-1 ratio on this eggplant color. So half the pillars go into the benches and tables, and the other half the pillars get turned into planks, which get turned into boxes. The tables and benches both require the same resources. It's one wooden frame and one pillar. One wooden frame and one pillar. So if you're injecting pillars and boxes into a system that has to split up, each pillar and box would have to split on its own. So that's why we have two layers. We have the boxes on the top, because if you were to put the pillars on the top and they split right here, most of the time they're going to fall off the conveyor system, even with these, what are they called, high walls. And then after they're all split, the tables and benches come around all the way, and they get put right here. Because pillars, when they go through a wood saw, only produce 3 planks, and a wood frame requires 4 planks, over time, no matter the system, your pillar production is going to be ahead of your plank production. So the way we account for this is for the pillar storage, we have it turned up all the way, and then for the planks, we have it set to 0, so that when these get full and the planks are way behind, which will take a long while to happen, pillars will get collected and planks will just run back through the system and just get put back in. So no matter how long this runs, that small ratio difference will over time be accounted for anyway. Or you can just turn this up and collect planks if you want. All right, now moving on to the build, we'll start with these buffers and we'll end over here with the storage. I'm using a T-joint here in case you ever want to add anything else. But for just these, just put 2 corners, because this is just the ending and the beginning of the looping system. All right, so we'll start with the wooden saw, because all the logs need to turn into a saw. And then we'll turn and go into that main splitter. So now the pillars, half the pillars go to the crafting and half the pillars go to the boxes. So first we'll create the crafting area. The crafting area splits into 2. So split it and then place your carpenters down. And then once you have that, you just want to connect them to the end. We're going to use the corner conveyor, and then you'll need a T-joint. Make sure it's facing the right way. But you'll need a T-joint so that this line of arrows continues to this corner. Just like that. Make sure everything's facing the right way. This one is not. This one is not. And this one is not. And now that we have the crafting area done, we can make the plank and box area. So we'll put another wood saw down so that all these pillars that come over here turn into planks. And then for this, you're going to want to line it up right on that line. Make sure it lines up this way as well. Make sure it's facing the right way, and make sure that filter is set to plank. So now all these planks are going to get picked up. We'll put in these T-joints for future proofing. And then finally, our carpenter. Make sure it's facing the right way. And then grab your splitter and assemble it right on that carpenter. Bang. All right. Now we're gonna come over here and attach these conveyor sorters to the top. This is just to pick up nails and overflow nails and to pick up overflow planks. Make sure they're facing the right way. You want them to be going into the system when they pick it up. Bang. All right, now let's just finish the loop. So from this corner, just make sure it goes all the way back to the front. You can use 2 long conveyors if you don't want to store any materials. Don't accidentally place things into a buffer like I keep doing. Bang. And then now for the collection, for wherever you put your storage barrels, just make sure that you have 2 conveyor sorters falling into them. Make sure they go the correct way. And make sure they're filtered correctly. Table and bench. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint everything the way you guys saw before. Just like that. Bang. Then optionally, you're going to want to put these high walls in on some of these corners. You can do it for the splitters too, just in case. Bang. All right, now walk through, make sure all the arrows are facing the correct way. These T-joints are not. All right, everything's going that way. All right, let's fill it up with some logs and some nails and see what happens. All right, I just put a bunch of logs in. Let's put a few more. So you can see all the logs get turned to pillars and then they split left and right. Boxes are crafted up here with any nails that you put in. Like this nail right here. Gets picked up, put into the carpenter. Waiting for some boxes to come through. There we go. We got a box right there. And then our next pillar that we get will also go on the right side. Perfect. And now the next pillar in the next box will go on the left side. Make sure you set these to crafting the correct thing. Whoops. Alright, yeah, we missed out on a few because I forgot to set them to crafting. So while this one's crafting, this one will get the pillar in the box, and it will start crafting. Bang. Alright. Then once they're done, they'll come around. And then it'll get collected by the green. Just like that. Now you've finished a very foolproof and intermediate bench and table farm with simple input and easy to understand material collection and overflow protection. Thanks for watching.